everyone, today we're going to be making a fun frosting. This is a whipped sweetened condensed milk frosting. It's lightly sweet, really fluffy, and kind of fun. So I've got 1 can of sweetened condensed milk in the skillet. Normally I would use a saucepan, but I figured a skillet would be easier for you to see. Plus it's more surface area, so it'll warm up a little faster and cool down a little bit faster. So to our can of sweetened condensed milk, I'm going to add 2/3 of a cup of granulated sugar. This makes quite a bit of frosting, so I know it doesn't look like it's not going to be super sweet, but it really isn't when it's done. It's not that toothacheingly sweet that you get sometimes. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. So this is almost kind of like an ermine frosting or a boiled milk frosting, only it uses sweetened condensed milk. So you start with a lot thicker of a mixture to get going. We're just going to get this kind of mixed together here. Just want to make sure you don't have any flour clumps. The sugar will dissolve a little bit easier once we get it on the heat. All right, once you get it kind of mixed together here, put it on medium heat. And we're going to go ahead and bring this up to a low boil. We'll boil it for 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you here, and I'll join you again once we get to that point. All right, so it's been a few minutes. All of the sugar is really dissolved. That's one of the goals that you're going after here, is that's how you're going to get that smooth, super silky frosting, is to make sure none of that granulated sugar is still granulated. So it's good and dissolved. The flour's had a chance to thicken everything up a little bit. Obviously, as it gets hot, you want to stir it pretty much all the time. You don't want anything to scorch on the bottom of your pan, and you don't want this to caramelize really. You just want the flour to thicken up and that sugar to dissolve. So now that we're pretty good and thick, I'm going to go ahead and remove this from the heat. And obviously it's going to thicken up more as it cools too. But as you can see, it has thickened up quite a bit. I'm going to add just a pinch of salt and about a tablespoon of vanilla. Again, this is a big batch of frosting, so you want it to have plenty of flavor. Go ahead and get that mixed in here. Now we're going to cool this completely. I'm actually going to go ahead and stick it in the refrigerator once it's cooled down a little bit to chill it. That'll make the frosting easier to work with later. If it's not completely cool, it's going to start melting your butter and stuff, and it's just going to be a little bit too soft to mess with. So you want to give it plenty of time. Oh, that smells good. All right, so I will see you in about a half hour, 45 minutes when this is completely chilled, and we will make frosting. Okay, now that our mixture is nice and cooled, we're going to go ahead and make our frosting. As you can see, this is really thick and pasty now. It's really pretty solid. So it's ready to go in here. I've got a cup of butter in here, already beaten smooth. I'm going to add a cup of shortening. And I forgot to mention earlier, this is actually a recipe that was shared with me in the comments of my, my blog. So it was a reader suggestion. And it was really fun to make the first time. This is probably my 5th or 6th time making it now. So it was really fun to give that a go. I did adjust it just slightly, but it's worked out really well. So if you have a favorite recipe that you'd like for me to try, feel free to email me, leave it in the comments, go over to the blog, tell me on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to try any kind of your favorite recipe and see how it goes. So we're going to go ahead and get the butter and the shortening mixed together real quick. Now I'm going to go ahead and start adding the sweetened condensed milk paste. All right, and as you can see, see, I didn't mention earlier, but I am using my balloon whisk for this on my mixer. For a lot of frostings, I use my paddle because I don't want to whip in a lot of frosting. Because this is a whipped frosting and the whole point is to get a lot of air in it, I do like using the whisk for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and whip this up for a good 10 minutes, make it super fluffy, and we'll be back then and show you what it looks like. All right, this has been running for a while. So as you can see, it is super fluffy and really creamy and ready to go. Now I like using this especially on sheet cakes. Little Dude and I are going to use this recipe to make a fried egg cake. So you can check out that video soon if it's not already up. And it's really good over, like, I've made a devilishly good chocolate cake in a 9x13 and spread it over there and just used my spoon to make it swirly, and that looked really good. I have piped it on cupcakes. If you're going to do that, I would recommend chilling it for a little bit first because it is a really fluffy and kind of softer frosting. Once it's set, it's fine, it'll hold, but you do kind of want to give it a little bit of a chill. Unless you like working with soft frosting, I tend to work with a little bit thicker frosting if I'm piping. Otherwise you can spread it on just about anything. It would be really good in like sandwich cookies or something too. So I hope you give this frosting a try. I hope you enjoy it. And we'll see you next time. Bye!